Simple to ask. If neither Arsenal or Spurs make any signings between now and the end of the transfer window, how does that affect their chances of qualifying for the Champions League?
Absolutely huge. Absolutely huge. I'm still waiting on Harry Kane firing, and you have to think that's going to happen. But if it doesn't, then you'd have to say then they can't do it. You know, I would have suggested they were, you know, the Luis Diaz, for example, would have made a big difference for them because this guy will score some goals. So he would have chipped in. Kulusevski, I mean, he's only got 6 goals in the last 2 years in Serie A. Tottenham don't need another player like him. They need a playmaker for a start. If they get a playmaker that will actually supply Harry Kane, then maybe Harry Kane, as I think will start scoring goals. If they don't sign anybody, which it doesn't look like it, and Harry Kane doesn't start playing like Harry Kane, then that means that they don't get that 4th spot.
Don, if nobody signs anybody, who's finishing 4th?
I still think Man United. I think I've been pretty consistent. I think that when I talk about the individuals, and I loosely said Galacticos last week, I just meant the standard of players that the manager's got to work with, even if they don't turn up and they don't fancy the manager. I still look at them and I still think, you know, you can rattle off all the names like we've done. You still think they could turn it on against anyone. So I think if no one brings in any signings as it stands at the moment, I would lean towards Man United.
Meanwhile, of course, Spurs were chasing Adama Traore, apparently from Wolves. He's gone to Barcelona on loan. That has been confirmed, returning to Catalonia. Of course, we all know about his pace. Hasn't really backed it up, though, when it comes to what he provides with regards to assists or goals. Stevie, I think this is weird, isn't it, for Barca? I don't get it.
I know. I'm sorry to be very negative today, but again, I don't understand this whatsoever. At least if he had gone to Tottenham, you know, Conte plays somewhat of a counter-attacking game, which means that you use Adama Traore's pace. Barcelona don't do that. They don't play counter-attacking football, and that doesn't suit Traore. So what's he going to do to help them? I'm sorry, I have absolutely no understanding of why they would sign this guy. For a team that actually have to be very careful spending any sort of money, they go and buy a guy that they just don't need, and I don't see how he helps them at all.
He's on loan. They haven't bought him outright. But Don, overall, what do you make of this?
See, this one is a funny one, Dan, because like I think Stevie's alluding to, when Barcelona have so much possession, you know, you'd like to think when they're pushing teams back, that doesn't suit Adama Traore because his strength is his pace. And when he's taking players on 1v1, well, if teams defend deep against Barcelona, he's got no room to try and work in. He's got no room to try and take his man on, get to the byline, put crosses in. So I can only think it's a ploy from Xavi to add more speed. They got Ferran Torres in. Because I always thought Barca over the last 18 months looked a little bit slow. They had lots of players in midfield. They had lots of guys that played at the top end of the pitch that all come, you know, looking towards the ball. They had no one that could really go in behind with any pace. So, again, I think this is one of them where he might sit on the bench and he might start some games, but only when I think Barca are in a little bit of trouble, they might use him, because if they're pushing teams back and they're scoring 1 and 2 and they're comfortable, as I said, tactically, it doesn't really suit them.
Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube. And for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.